cannot get over these. These are so cute. All right, hello guys. We have a cozy nighttime little video here, one that I've been hyping up for quite a while, and that is some DIY super cheap last minute gift ideas. So I hope that this one will be really fun for you because I have put a lot of work into figuring these projects out so that I can teach them to you. There's a few mistakes I made and I will make sure to tell you those along the way. But overall, all of these were like very beginner friendly crafts, aesthetic, beautiful gifts that I think everyone on your list is going to really enjoy. So settle in. Maybe you're wrapping some gifts. Maybe you just want to get some ideas. Maybe you're finishing up decorations. Let's get to our first craft, which is sitting right next to me and I'm enjoying mine already, a DIY candle. I've acquired quite the collection for this one, and that is making candles out of these thrifted little jars that I've been collecting. I've gotten all of these for 50 cents to $1, and I just think they're all so special. So this was my first time at making candles, and so I will share just a few mistakes that I made, but honestly these came out so beautiful and I cannot wait to gift these and keep a few for myself as well. So I did order a kit. I will link one that is similar down below. It came with 5 pounds of wax, which is a whole lot, and was actually able to fill up all of these jars pretty much perfectly. I actually brought out a few teacups that I wasn't planning to use. So I'm using essential oils to scent these, and I'm using soy wax, which is these little chips that are melting in the pot. So the first step is to melt the soy wax. Soy is a lot cleaner than the paraffin wax, so I have read and heard. And what I also read was that this wax should get up to 185 degrees before adding the essential oils, just to make sure that it really incorporates well enough. And so I think that I didn't do that as well for my second batch, since I divided my wax into two. That there was the amount of essential oils that I added. That's another thing that I would change. I would about triple that amount there, just because it smelled so strong in this kitchen, but once you dilute it into the wax, it doesn't become as strong. So these still smell really good, but they were almost giving us a headache of how strong all this smell was. And so I opened a window and everything. I was convinced these were going to smell almost too much. But I guess my tip is just do more scent than you think it should be. I mixed a combination of bergamot, lavender, lemon, and a little bit of cedarwood, and this made a really lovely scent. I ran out of popsicle sticks, which the kit included, and had a little hole just to center the wax, and I didn't want to wait and do these all in batches, so I used some painter's tape. I ripped a little bit off of each side, folded it in half, and then poked a hole with a toothpick. And it worked even better, honestly, than the popsicle stick ones, because it had a smaller hole and it just kept it centered a little bit better, I found. But once I took off the tape, they were all dry. I snipped the wick, and I wanted to add some little labels as well. So I had these printed at my UPS store. I can actually link down below. If I was fancy enough, I would have you guys sign up for an email and attach a blog or something, but I am not that fancy. So I will attach the Google Drive link down below if you want to steal this. Use this as your labels, but I did put on here the scents that I used, so you would have to use that exact same scent profile. So just keep that in mind if you want to use these labels or make your own. All right, I'm gonna reveal to you guys how these turned out. They are so beautiful. I think candles can get really expensive, and these were about $3 a piece. I mean, the most expensive thing is because you have to get some essential oils, but I use those all the time for diffusing in my home, for my DIY cleaning supplies. I already had those. So it's hard to calculate these, but because of the soy wax being about $30, and then I made about 17 of these, and then the jars were about 50 cents to $1. It came out to about $3 a candle, which you cannot beat that for a soy candle. Even a little tiny one is going to be $5 or $10 at least. So let me show you how these turned out. You only are seeing 2 of the labels here tied on because I ran out of the thin thread that I was using, but they will get labels. Moving on to our next gift. This one is for the girl or guy who wants to do a little self-pampering. This one was so easy that I hesitate to even tell you that this was a DIY. Honestly, this one and the last one were what even is this? This is so easy. But I'm going to show you how to make your own DIY cuticle oil. So I did say that this was cuticle oil, but I have actually been using this on my own hands all over my hands. It's amazing, you guys. So let me tell you the ingredients. You probably already have some of them in your home. So the first one is olive oil. That's in that white jar there. Avocado oil is the next one. And then the two that I didn't have was jojoba oil and vitamin E. So I will link these down below, but they were pretty affordable on Amazon. And then I also got on Amazon the little roller ball in those amber glass that are really beautiful. So we will be using all of this. I will put on the screen measurements for exact ratios if you want that. But to be honest, I just kind of winged it. I know it's gonna hurt somebody. But I added in the rosemary essential oil that's supposed to be really good for your skin, as well as lemon and lavender to smell really good. And trust me, this smells amazing. The little roller ball containers that came with these little funnels, so I just filled these up, popped in the little roller ball, put a lid on it, and then this I also added a label to. I think this would make a very helpful and a well appreciated little stocking stuffer. And I did have to purchase the vitamin E oil and the jojoba oil, but the other things I already had in my pantry, so I'll put on the screen here how much these came out to for each one, but also still super affordable, and they smell amazing, guys. This is how they turned out. All of these gift ideas are pretty amazing, if I don't say so myself, but you know what is also amazing? Good design. And so that's why I want to thank Amazing for sending me their new baby stroller. I want to show you how it works and tell you some of the special features about it. And this guy's gonna help. The Amazing stroller is made out of carbon fiber, which makes it extremely lightweight and strong. There's a few features that I absolutely love and that I find essential as a third-time mom. And most importantly, my baby was very comfortable in here. So you just saw how easy this was for me to carry the stroller and set it up with only one hand. I also love that the sunshade goes really nice and far down, and it has all of these nice air vents in the front, on top, and on the back. It also has this nice recline feature for when he falls asleep, so we can take a good nap. Only one little tap is needed to release or engage the brake. There's a parent wrist strap also for extra safety, and not all compact strollers have a 5-point harness, and that is a must for me. This stroller is only 11.6 pounds, and I'm putting it in my front seat here just to show you guys how little space it takes. Also, that it fits in an overhead suitcase compartment on a plane. We are going to Europe next summer. I haven't talked about that at all on this channel, but I'm super excited about it. I'll share more details soon. But this is the stroller that I plan to use because I tested it out. It goes great on all of the uneven surfaces that I took it around in our yard, which I think is gonna make it perfect, lightweight, easy travel stroller for us. So you can use the link down in my description, and it also comes with a travel case, which is super convenient and good for storing it when we're not using it. So thank you so much to Amazing. Let's get back to these gifts. Okay guys, I got the next one for you. You ready for this one? This one's like probably this one is my favorite, but it's a little bit out there. It might not be for everyone, but I hope that it'll give you a cool, good idea. Even something that you could just like make for yourself if you don't feel like you have the perfect person to give this one to. But I will say the last one is very generic. Like it could go for everyone. So maybe this one might not be for everyone, but the last one definitely is. So the next one is a wall vase. I've been seeing all of these on Pinterest lately. I'm gonna put up some inspiration pictures. They're like these ceramic wall vases. You can put flowers in them. I've seen a lot of dried florals in them, and I just thought they looked so beautiful and that we could probably do this. So let me show you how I figured this out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, buckle your seatbelts because we are going to work with some air dry clay. I haven't worked with this stuff in a long time, and there's a few tips that I learned. I watched a few videos just to get a good understanding of how to do this without it breaking apart. I was honestly not expecting this one to be so relaxing to work on. I just like threw on, I think it was a Homeworthy. I was just watching some home tours and working with my hands with this, and I just thought it was so relaxing. The first tip that I have for you is to roll it flat and then flip it over, roll it flat, flip it over. Don't roll it a bunch of times because it'll just get stuck like you just saw onto your counters. This right here is watered down clay that we're going to be using as the glue to attach two pieces together. So just mix up a little bit of this. A little bit goes a long way, so you won't need a whole lot. Just put it in a cup that you can throw away because it's gonna get nasty. So now we're going to cut the shape. I went with a ton of different shapes, and you'll see all of the ones that I created. For this one, I'm going with a kind of an arch shape, and you can use a craft knife or you can just use a butter knife. This worked just fine. I freehanded it onto here. The easiest way to get that pocket is to line up the back piece onto the piece that will be the front piece and cut just a little bit wider and a little bit longer on this piece that will be the front pocket. So I'm going to take off the backing now, lay that flat on my work surface, and then now this piece right here is the piece that's going to be formed and added onto the front of the backing. So I'm going in with my straw to texture all of the area where this will be sticking to, and then to get a nice good bond, you want to add some of that slush stuff onto both sides of the edges so that it can attach really nicely. The combination of the texture on both edges as well as the watered down clay is what gives you a really nice strong bond. And then I didn't do this because I was looking for kind of a more rustic look, but if you want a very smooth clay look while it's drying and you start noticing any little cracks or any texture that you don't want, you can go in and rub it with this slush that you've created, and it will give you a really nice, beautiful, smooth finish. So I have heard from all of the tutorials that I watched. So I used a baking sheet to let these dry really nice, and I did want to give you guys a little bonus craft that we can do here, because once I got started with this air dry clay, it was really fun and I was enjoying myself, so I just looked up some other things that we can do. So that top right hand corner is what I want to show you how I made and what it is. So this is a thing that can go on top of a vase to help arrange stems that kind of are flopping around awkwardly. And so I don't know what this is called. I know a frog would be if it was inside the vase, but this is actually sitting up on top. So I used a glass to get the shape of a circle there, and then I actually used a straw, and I wanted a wider one as well. So my husband used his PVC cutter and like cut this marker cap for me. It's just a Crayola marker cap, but if you have a thicker, like wider straw, that would work really well, just to give some variety in the whole size. And then I went in and added little waves, like little scallops around the side, using my finger to just pick up a little piece, press it down around my finger, and this gave it nice and even look. So what I did once all of these items were dry, because I wanted them to have a little bit more depth and look more like handmade pottery, I went outside and rubbed some dirt on it. It was really cold and I didn't want to go out. It was dark at this point, so this video is really poor quality. I apologize, but I was in my patio. But you can see the difference here. On the right is before, and then on the left is after, with adding some dirt. So definitely personal preference, but I love it with the added texture that the dirt added. And then I went in with this clear gloss glaze that I can link down below as well. I think that it was definitely the right call to go adding some sort of glaze, but I think maybe the matte might have looked a little better. This was very, very shiny. Totally also personal preference. All right, I'm gonna reveal to you guys how these turned out with the styling with like little flowers in them, because I already hung one up and it is so cute, I think. Would you guys enjoy seeing this as a gift? Like, would you enjoy receiving this as a gift? I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, but I think that the people that I'm giving these to will enjoy them. Let me show you guys how these turned out. I will show you how I hung one on the wall in my own home, but I did put a nail taped to the back of each of these so that they can be easily hung by the people I'm gifting them to. I also made some lavender imprints with some real lavender that I pressed into some clay and then painted, and I thought that looked really sweet. This would look so sweet, I think, in a little gallery wall, but I hung mine in my own home over a light switch to make it look like a little light switch vase. I had this idea while I was setting up this video, and before we do the very last one, I'm gonna pitch this. I'm gonna do a little giveaway. You guys comment down below which one is your favorite, which one would you like to receive, or which one do you feel like you might make, and I will send you one of these, or maybe I'll send you more than one. It helps support my channel when you comment, even if it's just like an emoji. It just helps support the YouTube algorithm. So I always appreciate those comments, and so this is my little way of giving back to you guys. So you gotta do 3 things to be entered in the giveaway. 1, subscribe and hit the bell so that you get notified when I upload a new video. 2, like this video, and then 3, leave any comment down below. You will be entered, and I am just excited to be able to give back to you in just a tiny bit. Like, this isn't enough to show my appreciation for you all, but I hope that it can just put a smile on your face. So let's get on with the last one, which is for the cook in the house or anyone that eats. And we're gonna head into my garden. So I do realize that I live in Florida, so this might not be exactly feasible for everyone because, you know, your dirt might be like frozen. But here's my very sad little herb garden. But you know what's not sad is my rosemary, and I have so much of it. So we harvested a good bit of it and then pulled off all of these pieces. So I mean, you could definitely buy some rosemary for this, but if you have access to it, this one would be virtually free because the only other thing that you're going to need is salt. I had some very cheap labor, but I did have to do some quality control. But once you get all the little pieces off of here, all you're going to do is add this into a food processor along with salt. I chose to use kosher salt. That's just the salt that I always use. And once I actually blended this, it really did break it up. So it kind of like turned into much more fine kosher salt. So it didn't keep the nice texture that I really like, but that's okay. We had to go to my bathroom to blend this because the baby was napping. If you don't have access to fresh rosemary, you could also do this with any other aromatic herbs. I always mess up that word, guys. Someone told me lately that I need to do tongue twisters because you can't understand the way that I talk. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm tired usually when I'm doing these voiceovers or just filming in general. I'm just like so tired right now. But once I got this all blended, I put this onto 2 cookie trays so that they were nice and spread out, and I let it dry overnight. So that was what was recommended in the recipe that I followed. And then just like I used some thrifted jars for the candles, I also got some thrifted jars for the salt. I just made sure that they were nice and airtight. And then I also whipped up a little label, which I will leave the Google link for down below. I put on the label to be used on meats or cooked vegetables for added flavor, just as an idea for people so that they know how to use it. This one was definitely the cheapest because my jars were like, I don't know, 50 cents, and then the salt was like $2, and then I already had the rosemary. So here's the total. All right, guys, before I share how these turned out, which seems a little silly because jars of salt. I'm going to tell you that next week I'll be back to actually share a piece of antique furniture that I got on Facebook Marketplace. Drum roll, I'm so excited. And so my mom's coming into town tomorrow, and I'm actually going to just like be styling it with her. I need some help with it because I do love it, but I just don't know what to do above it. I hope you all have a very blessed week, and I'll see you the next one. Bye. The blank wall that I had. Well, I found a piece on Facebook Marketplace. It's a sideboard